Welcome to Yvonne Michelle's exclusive R Retreat, happening on Saturday the 30th of October 2021, located at the Holiday Inn Hotel, Kensington High Street, London. Now, you may be single and you may want to meet the person of your dreams. You may even be in a relationship and want to add some spice, improve your communication skills within your partnership. Well, this retreat has been specifically designed to help you improve your relationship and personal development status and empower you to rebuild a healthy, more vibrant relationship with yourself and others. So with a choice of a one-day package or an overnight stay, you will have full use of the hotel's spa facilities and have an amazing experience. So book today, do not delay.
You ready? You got me running. Shake it, baby. Raise your hands up. Raise them up.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of After Dark Talk. Now, we have started a little bit differently tonight. We've had a few technical hitches, but we are here. We are here and we are ready for the show. So are you ready? Now, as you start to come in, I just want to welcome those of you who are on Facebook, those of you who are on YouTube, and those of you who are on MediaNet Live TV. I'm going to say welcome to tonight's show. Now, we have had a massive run of different speakers coming in every week, giving you a glimpse, an insight into what they are going to be doing at our retreat at the end of the month. And as you saw the advert just then, you know, the time is getting closer and closer. So let me just say this, there are limited tickets left. So if you are interested in getting a ticket and you're interested in learning more about your personal development, learning more about relationships, how you respond to yourself, how you respond to others, and if you want to make your life even better, then I would say to you, do make sure that you book. Don't leave it to the last minute, because you may not get that ticket at the last minute. It's limited seating, and I'm saying that for real. It is a limited seating. So, how have you been? How's everything going with you? How has it been for you? So last week we had Sharon Calix on the show and we talked about being safe online, and she gave some really good tips. And this week we have another amazing young woman, beautiful soul, in the studio today. And we also have our other speakers coming on a little bit later on in the show, so stay tuned for that. But I do have an amazing young lady who I met. It was just before the pandemic, and we actually met in person. We were speaking at the same event. And she is here with me tonight. I'm so excited. When she came to the door, I was like, hello. And she was like, hello. And we hugged, and it was really lovely. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my wonderful guest for tonight, and that is Astrid Phillips. How are you, my darling?
I'm good, thank you. It's great to see you. I'm so excited.
It's so good to have you here.
Thank you.
And so good to see you in person again. Yeah. We've seen each other online over the pandemic.
We have, definitely.
And but it's so good to see you in person. So before we get into the stuff, you know, the pandemic hit. Yeah. We met at an event. Yeah. At a beautiful location.
Oh, amazing.
It was lovely. So we were both speaking.
Yes.
And then the pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. And then what did we do?
We carried on communicating. Yes, we helped each other out. It was good.
Yes, we did. We got online and we started to do our thing and help others to really
Yeah.
navigate, because the pandemic was a really, really difficult time
Yes, it was.
for most of us,
Yeah.
really, if we were honest.
Yeah.
And so you were online doing your meditation
Meditation.
and
Yeah.
mindfulness.
Yes.
So that would, and then I was doing my morning inspiration. So before morning inspiration, I'd try and get myself together to get into this mode of relaxation and
Mhm.
meditate, so that I could bring forth,
Yeah.
you know, the word in which I was doing for the day. So it was like a win-win.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so this
Yes.
has now come up. I'm doing this retreat, and I thought to myself, who would be really good for this retreat? Who? And I was thinking, because I wanted mindfulness, I wanted meditation, I wanted that kind of, you know, to de-stress, really,
Mhm,
because
mhm,
most people's
mhm.
complaints is how stressed they
Stressed
feel.
they are. That's right. Yes.
And so I
Yes.
thought, who
Yes.
could I ask? And then your face just appeared to me, and I'm like, that's the person. And so we communicated,
Yeah.
and you are
definitely.
on the retreat. And I'm
Yeah.
really, really excited that you're part
Good.
of this journey. Really,
Good.
really. So, Astrid, tell our viewers.
Mhm.
I know that some of them may know you already.
Yes.
But
Yes.
tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and then we're going to go into the mindful and meditation
Ooh,
stuff.
Okay. So I'm Astrid, and I do mindfulness meditation, and it purely came about from. I'll tell you a little bit about my story in a minute, but it purely came about from about between 2000 and 2006 was when I really started. That's when had the little penny drop at that
Right.
time.
Mm.
So it was back then. And so ever since, and especially for the pandemic, it was very much a case of really thinking about, well, how can I help others? How can I serve others? Because I'm somebody who's very comfortable with myself, being in my own space, and I don't have a challenge with that. And in actual fact, I did enjoy, it sounds really crazy, but I did enjoy the pandemic because I was on my own and I was able to focus, not be interrupted, and just do what I wanted to do. And actually, I was still productive during the pandemic, because during the pandemic, I ended up co-authoring a book,
Wow.
Stories of Truth and Triumph, and the proceeds for that go to a charity for young people, for those who are having mental health challenges and those who have suicidal thoughts.
Mm.
Is available, can I say? It is available on Amazon. So it is on there, but all the money raised. And actually there is a second book out as well now, same title. And again, it's all stories from a plethora of different people who've gone through struggles. And without giving away too much, my story's in there about what actually got everything started for me. And it was very much a case of, I had a traumatic experience in my life, and it took me about 6 years to deal with it. And I spent a lot of that time in depression. And one of the things I learned to do, that's where I learned to be by myself and be comfortable with myself. And a lot of people were like, that's a long time. No, it's not. It's what you want to do and how you want to deal with the situation. It's as long as it takes. So long as you're not wallowing in that situation, you're taking steps to actually eventually come out of that situation. But whilst you're in it, it's difficult to do. And here's where I learned about mindfulness, about what is it, what does it do, what are the benefits. And so from that point of view, I started, a little bit, until it grew. And then it really came to the fore, more so during the pandemic, but it came to the fore towards the end of those 6 years. And I won't tell you the whole story. You'll have to come on the retreat and I'll tell you the whole story then. But what I'm going to say to you is, mindfulness meditation is the best thing I've learned about. And as much as people say, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure, and all of that kind of thing, and they think it's all woo-woo and all of that kind of stuff. Actually, if you take the time to learn about it, what it is, and the benefits that can be gained from that, then you'll be surprised how much it will benefit you.
So can I just ask you, Astrid, what is mindfulness? Just for those who don't know, what is mindfulness?
Mindfulness is about being in the moment, and it's about literally just being aware of your surroundings and what is there. Not speaking, not being judgmental, just taking in what is there. And the meditation bit with the mindfulness then helps you to rethink for yourself without being judgmental, in a calm way, and focusing on de-stressing yourself, in fact, and learning how to do that. Because it's not an easy thing to do. Because I remember, because I am actually qualified to teach mindfulness, and I remember when I first learned it, I'm a very active person, and I teach a lot of exercise classes. So if you're on my Facebook, you'll see me posting constantly about the class I've just done and that kind of thing. But it was funny enough, my boss has said to me, come and do mindfulness. And I thought, what? Me? I can't keep still for 5 minutes. No mind going to do mindfulness. But I went along with it. And the first kind of 3 hours, I couldn't keep still. I was really trying. But after that time, what she was then doing was actually appealed to me. You can do mindfulness movement. And that for me was like, actually, yeah, I can
So
do that.
you found your
I
niche.
found my little niche. Yeah. So it's
Mindfulness
mindfulness movement. So for those of you that maybe do yoga, Tai Chi, that kind of thing, that is mindfulness movement.
Okay.
So you can do it that way, or you can do it. There's a number of different ways in which you can do it.
So it's a more slower movement.
Yes.
More
it's
defined.
about slowing down.
Slowing down.
Yeah.
Right.
So part of the mindfulness meditation that I was doing online, because I did that during the pandemic, was I got people to really think about their breathing and to, even close their eyes and just take a nice deep breath in and then breathe out again without thinking about anything else and clearing their mind. And you find when the minute you close your eyes and you just focus on your breathing, everything else falls away.
You just have to give yourself time, because the mind is constantly going different things, different scenarios, things that have been said, things that haven't been said, things that you've done, things that you need to do. The mind is constantly going on the go. So in that breath work, that is that what actually slows
you down.
Right. And so once you take that step and the breath starts to slow you down, then what happens? Because sometimes, like before I started doing your meditations in the mornings, I would find that my mind, because my mind is just like, it's just like that. It's always on the go. So, like everybody else's, I assume, but it just feels like it never stops. And sometimes when I do the breath work, and it's just like at a point of where something should happen. It's like my mind's like, and then I'm like,
no. And here's where I say the best time to do mindfulness meditation is first thing in the morning.
Right.
And in the first kind of 20 minutes, that's when your mind is just waking up. And that is the best time to actually absorb and to actually maintain that calmness by doing the breathing, doing the breath work, and literally just clearing your mind of everything.
Wow.
Okay. And it makes such a difference, because from after that 20 minutes, our mind is on the go.
Right.
So, sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you feel like a little bit tired, a little bit lethargic and what have you. That's just your brain trying to wake yourself up.
Right.
And what we do, cortisol is what helps to wake us up, which is like a stress hormone. So by doing that first thing in the morning, what it does is it just calms you back down again. Right. Because it brings the stress down again.
Okay.
And so because you're breathing, because you have your eyes closed, because you are just taking it easy,
Mhm.
then that's what helps for the rest of the day. And if you can get in the habit of doing that every single morning before you do anything else, you'd be surprised the difference it makes to you,
To your day,
to
really.
your day as
Wow,
well.
wow,
as
wow,
well.
wow.
So yes.
Okay, so I just want to welcome everyone that's coming in. Come in. We've started a little bit later than normal. Just want to say good evening to everybody who's on Facebook, those of you who are on YouTube, and those on MediaNet Live TV. I welcome you. We are talking about mindfulness. Have Astrid here, Coach Astrid, as it's all over your advertising.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Coach Astrid.
Yes. And we're
Yes.
talking about mindfulness. Now, we've got Kieran Richards. Kieran is a good friend of the show. Hi, Kieran. Thank you for being here. Let's see. He says, I agree. Mindfulness and somatic processing can really help to assess bodily emotions that need to be processed. This can really help shift emotional experiences, even with trauma clients.
Yes.
Fantastic. Good evening, Sheena Campbell, and good evening, Michelle. Anne. How are you? Hey, Annie Mac, how you doing? Thank you for being here this evening. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions about mindfulness or meditation, please put it in the chat. Yeah, because we have our expert here, so we're going to be asking her all the questions in preparation.
Yes.
For the retreat
For
as
the
well.
retreat, yes.
So,
yes.
guys, I want you to get to know Astrid. As she is going to be with us on the retreat, doing all the meditation. Can't wait for it.
I know, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be lovely. So when you get into London and you get into the hotel, those of you who are traveling on the day, Astrid will be there and just bring you to the zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Yes. It is.
It's going to be great.
It is.
It really is. So we're talking about mindfulness and first thing in the morning.
Yes.
So, for instance, like for me, when I wake up in the morning, it's almost like as soon as my eyes open. My brain is just like this.
Yeah.
And I go like this.
Stop.
Yeah. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And then I take a moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I just have a moment with myself.
Yes.
And I'm like, and as much as the brain is like trying, it's almost like it has its own mind.
Yes.
The mind has its own mind where it wants to just, this is what you need to do. And I'm saying to my mind, hold on a minute. I need to just have a moment for me.
Yes.
Because I need to be able to give to me first.
You can't give to yourself and you can't look after yourself. You can't look after anybody else.
That's right. So I will try and I will do it. As you know, I've done your meditations, and it's nicer when there's someone to guide you.
Yes.
It absolutely is.
Yes.
Because it kind of keeps the brain in check. So I'm finding that I have to talk to myself like I'm you.
Yeah.
And like, no, we're not doing that. We're doing this. But how can I do that quicker? Is there any way that I can make that more spontaneous?
It's not necessarily about quicker, because it's about kind of slowing down to spend time with you and being comfortable with spending time with you, because a lot of people feel that, oh, if I'm spending time with myself, I'm not spending it on somebody, and you start feeling guilty and you start this and that, and that's not going to help. And it's about disciplining yourself. So I will set my alarm half an hour early in the morning. And I have my phone at the other end of the bed.
Okay.
So that I have to get up, get my phone to switch off the alarm.
Right.
And then that's kind of my, mindfulness now.
Right. Okay.
And so that's kind of what jolts me into doing that. And then once I start, I'm just like, oh. And it's because I've been doing it for so long now, it's just so relaxing. And especially when, like you say, your brain is doing 10 to the dozen.
Yeah.
And you know you've got potentially a stressful day. Just to stay calm. It's like I was having a meeting this morning, and I know, different personalities will work in different ways. And I thought, you know what? No, calm. Did my meditation. Then I walked to the meeting, sat down, and I'm just like, I'm ready. And because I did that, I just went with the flow, because that's part of it. It's part of mindfulness is about dealing with what's happening in the moment, but also learning how to let go and go with the flow.
Oh, wow.
And not be triggered by what people do, say, react, behave, and that kind of thing.
Oh, this is going to be so good. This is going to be so good, guys. Because as you said, the letting go, because we have Daniel. I don't know if you've met Daniel.
No.
You're going to love Daniel.
Okay.
Daniel's been on the show a couple of times now, and his thing is all about letting go.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is just showing me exactly where to put you.
Yes, that's good then. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because this is, because the whole purpose of the retreat is to give back, especially after, the pandemic that we've had.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to really give back to people, to help them say, right, we've had a miserable time, but now, and sometimes it is letting go of the I'll tell you one thing that many people need to let go of, and that's fear.
Yes.
The fear of the pandemic.
Yes.
Because there's been so much negativity and, all of these words, these buzzwords that they've been throwing, stay safe and all these things like this. And so many people have lost people. Yeah. There's a massive fear around the COVID-19 epidemic, as I call it.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, we now have, this is one of the reasons why I asked this lady to come on. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why. Because we want to gift back to you and help you so that you can navigate your life more effectively. And you might feel, well, I'm fine, I'm all right. You might feel like that. But actually, when you hear things about what's going on in the world, how do you really feel? What impact is it having on your heart? What impact is it having on your mind? Yeah. And so these are the things, these are the tools, the techniques, the strategies that Astrid is coming to teach. Yeah. This is a workshop. She's not going to stand up and talk like that to you. We're doing mini workshops so that you actually get
a little bit of
something out of it.
Yeah. I mean, because there's a couple of people I follow on Facebook, and one person actually was honest yesterday and actually said that he was not dealing with things. He was on automatic pilot and didn't really take time out for himself. And you could see he was doing a live, but you could almost see the emotion in him.
Wow.
And it's not like him at all.
Okay.
And that something's not quite right. When someone asks you a question, you suddenly go into a flood of tears. Yeah. Because that is your body telling you something is not right.
Yeah.
But someone's hit the nail on the head, they triggered you, and that's the reaction. Or if somebody says something and your reaction is you suddenly stop, or you suddenly feel something like you were saying in your heart, then you need to look after yourself. And that's where mindfulness comes into play, because you learn then how to deal with that. And you, even if you don't do that 10 minutes in the morning, there are various different things you can do during the day. Like you were talking about your mirror.
Oh, yes.
And, that comes into it not as deeply as you do, but you can use that. How often, especially those who have children, their children are always around their legs and what have you, go into the toilet, shut the door, look in the mirror.
Absolutely.
And do it then. It only takes, I can give you an app that I do use. I can give you an app that I do use, and it's 10 minutes. What's 10 minutes out of 24 hours? It's nothing.
So what is this app then? Tell us about the app.
Tell me about the app. It's called Calm.
Not surprised.
It's called Calm. Now, if I tell you, just before we had lockdown, I had an opportunity to go to Bali.
Okay.
Had an opportunity to go to Bali. I know, right? It was amazing. I was there, fun enough, for a retreat.
Okay.
And I was the one English girl amongst a whole load of Australians.
Right.
So I was the only English girl, but that was fine. And the person who was organising that retreat put people together who maybe had something in common.
Right.
And I was put with a girl
Mm-hmm.
who actually does mindfulness as well.
Okay.
Not only that, we found out through talking and sharing the room and all the rest of it, we had a friend in common.
Oh, wow.
And she lives in Australia. I live in England, and I know her friend.
Oh, wow. Where does the friend live?
The friend, well, I didn't know where she lived, but she was a boss of mine
Oh,
at the O2.
I see. Isn't it a small world?
I know, tell me about it. Why would you go all the way to Bali to meet somebody?
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
Yeah, definitely.
It was meant to be. And we used to do together, we used to do mindfulness every morning, mindfulness meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And straight from there, we'd go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And then straight from there, we'd start our day. We'd go and have a
Fantastic.
shower, have breakfast, whatever.
And this was at the retreat.
This was at the retreat. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So how was Bali? We're going to come back. We're going to ask the question. But how was Bali?
Amazing.
Mm.
Amazing. And here's where you learn to have humility, because the people there, they're grateful for everything.
Okay.
And here's where the gratitude comes in as well, as part of the mindfulness, because it allows you to think about all the things you have. And when you go to somewhere like Bali where they have nothing, and when I say nothing, I mean, people just do what they do to make money.
Yeah, in terms of monetary, because
Exactly.
I mean, it's a beautiful place.
It is a beautiful
gorgeous place to
place,
live,
yes.
but they don't have the financial.
They don't have the financial anything, but they're grateful for what they have.
Mm.
And, when I hear people over here complaining about, go live there. Go live there. Because one of the guys who I met there, he was actually going to live there. He made a decision that he was going to live there. And he gave up all his worldly possessions and worldly goods, sold everything, and moved to Bali. And was going to live like the Balians do.
You said was gonna, so he's not obviously not living.
No, because he had to go back to Australia because of the pandemic. Exactly. So what he's doing now is he's finding places in Australia where he can live how he wants.
Oh, okay.
And he has truly taken embodied yoga, meditation. He's a Reiki healer, and he's very much for men who are having a difficult time with regards to expressing themselves, because men don't really talk that much. They have to keep everything, go to their man cave and keep themselves to themselves. But he's encouraging them to actually talk like women do. We talk all the time.
We do.
As encouraging them to talk and encouraging them to understand that having an emotional side is not a negative.
No,
it's actually a positive.
It is.
And everybody has female and male in them.
Oh yeah, the energy. It's the male and female energy.
Exactly.
It's both.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've got a question from Kieran. He says, do you find that practicing mindfulness long term can help reduce the overactivation of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nerve system in trauma clients?
Yes, it can. Just purely from the point of view that a traumatic experience, you relive it over and over and over again in your mind. So therefore, you've made a pathway where you just relive that. So it's a bit like walking through a field of grass. When you walk, you'll see that trail that you've left, and you keep walking that trail. However, mindfulness allows you to make another one.
Right.
And it helps you to maybe think about, instead of going that way, go that way.
So you can change direction.
You can change direction. Now, a lot of people, our mind is a beautiful thing. It's an absolutely amazing thing. And we only use 4% of our brain, because 96% of our brain is on automatic pilot. Because if you think about everything that you do during the day, it's automatic. You don't have to think about it. Your brain does it for you. There's only maybe 4% where you have to think on your feet. So you can imagine if 96% of your brain is constant, and doing the same thing over and over again, you've made those trails and those pathways that you can't really get out of, or it's difficult to get out of. So if you think about it like you're learning a new language, what would you do? You would get all the relevant books, get all the relevant tapes, you get all the information. You would then practice consistently until you became confident at doing it. It's no different to the brain.
Okay.
We've already got those pathways, but we need to look at ways of making new ones. Everybody's different, so everyone will have a different way of doing that, but it's about consistency and practice.
Okay.
And doing it for maybe 5 minutes or 2 weeks or whatever.
No, it's got to be continuous.
It's got to be continuous. And to actually create a habit, you need to do it for 66 days without breaking that habit.
Yeah. So if you break the habit, you start again.
You start again.
Yeah. I'm of that. I'm
So,
of that ilk.
Yes.
You break the habit, you start all
again.
over
Start again. Yes.
So I hope that answers your question, Kieran. Thank you for that question. It was a good question to ask. There was another question. KB says, can you pray through meditation?
I would say yes, purely because your meditation, you can design your own meditation. I'll put it like that. You can design your own meditation that can be prayer based. So therefore, you can actually do that. And again, if you practice it, it depends what your prayers are, but you can practice that. So if your prayers are around, sort of improving yourself or improving your interactions with other people or that type of thing, then yes.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just creating new neural pathways. That's all it is.
So to answer KB's question, because he says, can you pray through meditation? Because I know in terms of what the Bible says, and it says it's meditate on the word day and night. So there is your answer really. Yeah. It's the word. You meditate on the goodness of the word. I shall live and I shall not die. I shall, I am the head and I am not the tail. But,
yes.
That kind of thing, I would assume.
And that you are blessed.
Yes, and highly favoured.
And highly favoured, yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. So those are the types of things.
And believe it as well. That's the big thing. It's all well and good saying these words, but you have to believe it.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe it, then nothing's going to happen.
You're wasting your breath.
Exactly.
So you believe it, feel it, actually take it on. To make that shift, really, I think you've got to really embody.
You've got to embrace it, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And that's why, as I said, when I first started doing mindfulness, it's like, really? And I eventually got to the stage, because it was a whole day training that I did. And I eventually got to the stage, okay, Astrid, this is you. Give it a chance and see how you go with it. Right. And the minute she started doing the mindfulness movement, I'm like, this is me. This is my thing. Right. This is my thing.
Because so
I'm active. Yeah. I can't sit still. See the hands. I can't sit still for 5 minutes. Yeah. So it's a case of I had to find something that would work for me. Yeah. And even now I don't do the mindfulness movement anymore. I do kind of sit in a chair. And when I was doing the live early morning meditation, it was very calming. I sat in the chair. I was talking about how to sit in the chair, and it sounds really silly, but at the end of the day, people, if you sit correctly, you can focus on, just clearing your mind, just focusing on, what your heart is doing, what your tummy is doing. All of that kind of thing. What your third eye? Yeah. So you're starting to go into the chakras. Chakras, exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and everything is aligned. Everything is aligned. So Kieran's saying, so mindfulness creates new neural pathways. Yeah. Do you know any further research on this topic, please? I do, but guess what? You'll have to come on Saturday.
You have to come to the
I'm giving it all
retreat.
away now. You'll have to come on Saturday.
There you go, Kieran. There is an open invitation for you to come.
There
I'm
you
not sure
go.
where you're based, though. I'm not sure where he's based.
Okay.
But yeah, you
It'd be
are
nice to see you, Kieran,
It
because
would
I've
be.
seen a lot of stuff that you've shared, and it's been really, really good. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And KB is saying good stuff. Thank you. So keep the questions coming, guys.
Mhm.
Keep the questions coming as I'm talking to Coach Astrid, and we are talking about mindfulness and
yeah.
meditation.
Yeah, mindfulness meditation. What I will be sharing, and I won't go into too much detail now, but what I will be sharing is our 4 levels of consciousness. And when I kind of describe them all, you'll kind of think, yeah, I know someone like that. Yeah, I know someone like that. Yeah, I know someone like that. And it will all just come straight into your mind.
Right.
But the first level, I'll share this bit. The first level of consciousness is what I call the victim mode.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know people who want to blame everybody else for everything that goes on in their life. And they're always complaining and they're always moaning. And that drains your energy.
It does
And you
indeed.
see that person like, I'm going this way. They're coming this way. I'm going that way.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them to drain your energy. And I'm going to talk about how to change from that if you want to. It has to be your choice. You have to take responsibility for actually doing everything. It's not about blaming somebody else. And that's how it links to relationships as well. It's not about blaming somebody else. It's about you taking personal responsibility, not looking at it as, win or lose. It's about coming together. It's about being on the same page and being on the same level and being able to influence that other person. It's quite funny because I'm thinking about somebody as we're talking, and he changes how he speaks to me. I see how he speaks to other people, but he changes how he speaks to me because he knows, for example, I don't swear. Okay. So don't be swearing at me.
Come on now.
Go swear at other people, but don't do it to me. And he doesn't. And you can see his mind going, he's about to say something and he's got to rethink how he's going to say something. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, respect is the minimum.
Exactly.
That's how I see it.
Exactly.
I see that as a good thing. We don't, I have these conversations about swearing all the time. And I just say, it's unnecessary and it just shows the level of intellect. Yes. I'm not saying it, I'm not snobbing it. I'm not. But what I'm saying is some of the time, and I get it when you are expressing something so passionately that you use it, and I get that. But it's when you're like every other word and it's just like just rolling. Yeah. Why? It's lost its impact. Yeah. It's lost its impact. Yeah, and you look like a numpty. So there you go. I just have to say the truth. Through being mindful and non-judgmental, it's about, okay, why does that person do that? Is it because that's all they know, how they've been brought up, how they, how they've been, for want of a better word, educated? Because I know that people haven't had the same experience as me. People haven't grown up with parents who don't swear, don't drink, don't do drugs, and have lived healthy and, encouraged myself and my brother to go to church every Sunday, that type of thing. And the good clean living.
It's just I wouldn't say clean living necessarily, but yeah, all the good things. But what I will say is it's going back to my mindfulness now, how I interact with people is very different. I'm very how can I put it? Very patient. Okay. I don't get as a youngster, I'll be in your face. Yeah. Now, you can say what you want to say. It's like the other day when I was working and started, this true. I just let them rant. Now, normally, I'm like, no. My mindfulness has helped me to be patient, to be non-judgmental. They're expressing their opinion. They're expressing how they're feeling right now. And let them talk. And if they want to ask me a question after that, I will answer the question in a very calm way. And funny enough, the day when that happened, I was actually training somebody else. And she told me, she said, how did you stay so calm?
Mm.
And I said, because A, I practice mindfulness, but B, me retaliating would only have raised everybody's
raise the level, wouldn't
raise
it?
raise the level. He didn't trigger me because I practice my mindfulness, and I know that it's just like being non-judgmental, being patient, being calm. That's what it's all about. So I actually practice what I preach, if that makes sense.
Well, that's what you're supposed to.
Well, exactly. So it's not only about being present in the moment, and I was present in the moment because everyone else wasn't there when he was having the conversation with me. I was just with him.
Right.
But it's just learning how to be present in the moment and how to just don't judge, be patient, stay calm. And if you can do that, then you'll be surprised how that then impacts your life, your relationships, your interactions with other people.
So it's that process to stay calm.
Yeah.
Non-judgment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that. So Kieran's saying, thank you. I'm based in Swansea and West Wales with body scanning and somatic tasks.
Yeah.
Is there things us counsellors and psychotherapists should be aware of in terms of the possibility of re-traumatizing clients by assessing trauma-related emotions? Sorry for all the questions.
That's
I'm
okay.
finding this very interesting. Thank you. So what did we say at the top of the show? There is no panel tonight.
No.
You guys are the panel.
Yeah.
So therefore,
Ask
your questions, keep them coming.
Yeah.
We are really, we welcome the questions tonight, for sure. Absolutely. So thank you, Kieran, for sharing and asking these questions, because they are very, well, Kieran always asks.
I know, he always does. He always does.
Asks good questions.
What I would say to you, Kieran, if that's what you do, I wouldn't say to them you're using it as a way to help. I would say, have you tried? What do you think of? And ask a lot of open questions, and maybe get them to. And I'll share the app that because for some people, so my trauma, I kept hidden, and I kept hidden for 6 years. So it wasn't a good thing to do, and it didn't help me. Now that I've been able to share my trauma, because we all worry about, it's going to do this, it's going to do that, it's going to do the other.
Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. A lot of it, and I'm just talking generally here, a lot of it is people's fear of how they will be judged. It's their fear of actually speaking their truth. It's their fear of what if, because what and if, 2 words separately, are great. Put the two of them together and they're powerful.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, what if? And we always look to the negative.
Always.
And do you know why we look to the negative? Because our brain is designed to protect us. That's why. So hence the reason why, if you get to practice mindfulness, you turn that on its head. And so therefore what you're doing is you're saying, no, brain, think this way, please. Don't think that way. I know you're trying to protect me, but guess what? No. But it comes with practice. As I said, it's no different to if you want to, and I'll talk from the point of view of exercise. If you want to get better, you want to get fitter, you want to get stronger, you have to practice. You have to be present. You have to go and actually take action in order to make the habit. And you go through a little bit of pain, you go through a little bit of anxiety, you go through, because the amount of women and men, women from the point of view of their size, and they're conscious of everybody watching them, and nobody's watching you if you're exercising. Trust me, nobody's watching you.
Maybe the men.
And men coming into a class with a lot of females, they find that a little intimidating. But at the end of the day, what is your goal? What is it that you want to achieve? And it's not about worrying about everybody else. And what you'll notice with all of my classes, if you ever get an opportunity to come, is that everybody in my class are not your typical model shape. But they come every single week without fail. They enjoy it and they exercise. And they come because I always say to them, by the time you finish, you'll go, because I do it in the evening. So by the time you finish, you'll have a good night's sleep. And then you can wake up in the morning and feel refreshed and everything else for it. But I don't have skinny people in my class.
Well,
I have, and I encourage, there are some women even there who've had gastric bypass and all the other bits and pieces. I've got women in my class who have lost so much weight. It's got to the stage where it's just skin now.
Right. Oh, wow.
But they'll still come to my class. I had one lady who came to my class, and she was confident enough now to have a new swimming costume. She wasn't wearing black anymore. She had one that had colour in.
Lovely.
And it was amazing. And I when I teach, I kind of, how can I put it? I do it in such a way that everyone forgets what their challenges are, and they just have fun exercising.
Do you use mindfulness techniques when you are doing exercise?
I do, yeah, because it's mindfulness movement, and I'm not correcting people, but the way in which I teach, I make sure that you're focusing on yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. You're focusing on yourself.
Yeah.
And the instructions I give out at the beginning is very much along the lines of do your thing. Forget about everyone else. Do your thing.
Do your thing. I like that.
And if you can have a conversation, you're too close to the person next to you.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So we have a laugh.
Yeah.
And so therefore they are relaxing. They are de-stressing from the off.
Fantastic. So guys, in case you're just joining us, I'm talking to Astrid, Coach Astrid, who is a mindfulness and meditation expert.
Yeah.
And we have been talking, if you want to know what we've been talking about, press rewind.
Yes, exactly.
Replay. Because we are staying, it's mindfulness, we are staying in the moment.
In the moment, yes.
Yeah, we're staying in the moment. I like it. Staying in the moment.
In the moment,
yes. So you link the mindfulness with the meditation.
Yes.
So how does, in case there's people who have never come across it, how does that kind of work when you bring the two together?
Okay. With the mindfulness, it's about the stillness. With the meditation, it's about thinking, stopping the stillness now and thinking about you.
Okay.
So the mindfulness is about just calming yourself down and slowing yourself down. And then it sounds really weird because if you were to look up the definition of the two, they almost are opposites.
Okay.
They're almost opposites. But when you put the two together, it works really well.
Right.
So you've got the clearing of the mind.
Yes.
You've got then the leading of the meditation, because normally meditation is led by somebody else to help you. So you've got the it being led, and so therefore you're able to forget about everything else, just be led to think about you. And here's where, when I was doing the mindfulness in the mornings during lockdown, I would talk about the chakras because that made sense to everybody.
Yeah.
So I would talk about, the crown of the head. I would talk about what we think of third eye. The voice, the heart, the solar plexus, the root. And, it was about just going through all of that and understanding how everything connects, and then being grounded by having your feet flat on the floor. And, when I was over in Bali, when we did it on the grass. Yeah. So we're really grounded with the earth. And that feels amazing.
It does. I do it I actually do it at home.
Okay.
So when everything is like, especially in those moments, I go outside in my back garden and I stand on the grass.
Yes.
And it's just like
barefoot on the grass. And
grounding.
That's one of the tips I would say. The minute you're feeling maybe anxiety, stress, whatever, if you're at home, go outside into your back garden. Yeah. Or even, if you have a balcony or whatever, but just take your shoes off. Yeah. And just stand, close your eyes and breathe. And breathe slowly. So you breathe in for a count of 4 and breathe out for a count of 4. Not 1, 2, 3, 4 either.
No.
It's like So it's just
Get it?
calm breathing.
Do you get that?
Calm breathing.
Calm
So
breathing. Yeah,
calm
great
breathing.
stuff.
Calm breathing.
Great
And if any of you guys do yoga, that does help too. I'm not a yoga bunny, I'm afraid. I'm mindfulness because yoga, no, I'm still too active. But you know, and that's why I teach the kind of classes I teach. But through doing the mindfulness, it helps me to bring that into what I'm doing as well. And it's helped me make a big change in my life.
Brilliant.
It's made me be a lot more patient. It's helped with my confidence because yeah, I'm a confident person, but there are times where I feel like, you sure? We all have it.
We all have those moments. We really,
I
really
forget what you call it. When you don't believe you're qualified, or can't remember what the word is now. It'll come to me. Impostor syndrome. That's it. Yeah, it's impostor syndrome.
Because I was saying that to it was on my live this morning. So I'm not reading my phone. I'm looking for the question because I'm thinking, what question? It's not even for Astrid. No, it's not. It's a question that I have on my phone to remind me because we have a competition. We have a free ticket to give away, and we didn't give a free ticket away last week, but on the show. But we've had three competition winners so far. So sometimes I put things out on social media. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't.
You can always change the notifications so you see it.
That's it. And sometimes if you are part of the mailing group, I send out emails and I say what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it's there. So this week we're going to do it here on the show as Astrid is here. And the question is, I'm going to put on my glasses.
Okay. I had mine on to drive.
See, I don't need them to drive. I only need them to read like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I need mine to drive because this, like, everything's blurred.
Oh, no. All right. So here we go. Now, this is for a free ticket to the R retreat on the 30th of October. Who was my first studio guest and what was the name of the show? Ooh. I'll read that again. Who was my first studio guest and what was the name of the show? So there you go. Not such an easy one. So you've got to have been on this journey of the After Dark talk for a little while.
Yeah.
For a little while. So you would have been with me during the pandemic. That's the only clue that I can give you, really. So you would know that you need to go back and have a look. And whilst you're going back and having a look, like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Now, on the bottom of the screen, you can see the website with the address. If you want to book the R retreat, the details are on the bottom of the screen. It's www.yvonnemichellecom/the R retreat info. That is what you would have to put on there. If you go to yvonnemichellecom, you go up to the hyperlink, you'll see the retreat there. You click the link, and then all the details are there for you. Yes. So also, I do have to say, I am doing a little 21 little thing. I'm doing a 21-day to loving yourself on the 7th of November. So if you are interested in that, DM me, because I am doing that. That's going to be amazing as well. You know, and that's it's all mirrors.
Yay.
Anyway, I'm really excited about doing that because it's the end of the year. We're coming up to the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know, you'd always get people, you're making New Year's resolutions, you're doing this, you do.
I don't make New Year's resolutions.
No.
I don't.
No.
Because why are you making a New Year's resolution? You can do it anytime.
Right. This is about planning. This is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Exactly.
So this is about planning. This is about us taking responsibility.
Yes.
Of our own self, of our life, and saying, right, what do we want? What do we want?
We can make it happen.
Absolutely.
But we have to believe that we can make it happen.
Absolutely.
Because there are so many people I know who've started from nothing. And if you see what they've achieved now, it's amazing.
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and it's
You
out
know-
there for everybody.
Exactly.
You can do it.
Exactly.
You can do
It
it.
is.
You really,
it is
really
possible.
can.
It is possible.
So we're coming up now. I know 'cause we're coming up to the top of the hour. We will be coming up, and we're going to have our next experts coming in to the room and talking with us. But before they do, I am going to just say to you, Astrid, if there was one piece of advice
Mm-hmm.
that you could give our listeners
Mm-hmm.
in regards to mindfulness and meditation, what would that be?
One piece of advice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that a lot of people are fearful of change.
Yeah.
And they don't like change. However, you can't be doing the same thing time and time again and be expecting different results.
Mm.
So mindfulness can actually help you make that change. It can help you make that change. And it has done for me. And if you had known me back then and known me now, I'm a different person, completely different person. And I would recommend it to any and everybody. That's a say. I'll tell my story on Saturday.
So if you
You'll
want to
know
hear
my
Astrid's story, you've got to
I'll
come
tell
to
you
the
my
retreat.
story. Exactly.
And that's the 30th. So it's not this coming Saturday, not Saturday coming, but the
Saturday
following
after.
Saturday, the
Yes.
30th of October. We are going to be at the Holiday Inn in Kensington High Street, London. And we are going to have an amazing time at the R retreat. R is for relaxation, it's for restoration, it's for rebuilding, it's for reconsecrating, it's for any word that begins with R.
I like that part, dear.
Yeah,
I like to recuperate.
yeah, relaxation. It's all. And for those of you who are staying over, we have a small number of people that are going to be staying over on the Saturday. We will be going out in the evening. We will be connecting and talking with each other and building new relationships. I'm really, really excited. Even with the daytime, with all of the speakers, you guys are amazing. You know, and you come for the whole day. You get to mingle with the speakers, get to pick their brains, ask them questions, and then in the evening we go out and we have a nice time relaxing,
Just chilling and
Chilling.
networking. And,
Yeah. Do you know what? I'd really love to go to a salsa do. I would. I really feel like
I don't know if there is one.
I don't know if there is, but I would really like to do.
I'm sure someone will look it up, won't they?
Yes, somebody will look it up and say, "Oh, we're going. You wanted salsa, or you know, or
I found somewhere.
yeah, that's near to where we are, near to Kensington High Street, so we can go and dance. We can have a drink. We can, mingle and get to know each other. Yeah, that's just me wanting to shake my stuff, really. But if we don't get to do that, we will certainly.
We'll find a way.
Oh yes, we're doing something. It's going to be very,
We'll
very
find a
good.
way.
So we are going to go to a commercial break. And then after the commercial break, we're going to have our next two guests come in to the studio. And we're going to have a talk again. And we're all going to talk together. We're going to have a talk about well-being as well. So if you are interested in this conversation, stay with us and we'll be back right after this. Welcome to Yvonne Michelle's exclusive R Retreat, happening on Saturday the 30th of October 2021, located at the Holiday Inn Hotel, Kensington High Street, London. Now, you may be single and you may want to meet the person of your dreams. You may even be in a relationship and want to add some spice, improve your communication skills within your partnership. Well, this retreat has been specifically designed to help you improve your relationship and personal development status and empower you to rebuild a healthy, more vibrant relationship with yourself and others. So with a choice of a one-day package or an overnight stay, you will have full use of the hotel's spa facilities and have an amazing experience. So book today, do not delay. Hey, and we're back. So thank you for being with us. And I hope that you got the information for our retreat. So I want to introduce our next load of guests who are online with us tonight. But I want to bring into the studio Michelle and Herbie. Hello, hello, hello.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. It's good to see you guys.
Good to see
Now, Michelle and Herbie are in Wales, aren't you?
That's right. Our new home.
Yeah,
That's Kieran's there.
yeah, we're in Wales.
Yes, yes, Kieran's manor, because Kieran he's in Swansea.
Oh, okay.
So is that a different part of Wales? It must be.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
ours is Wednesday today. Working today.
Mhm.
Okay, we're just thinking it's Wales is
Wales.
Wales, isn't it? It's like it's one place, but it's not.
Many places.
So, let me just give you a little bit of background about Michelle and Herbie. Michelle and Herbie have been our panel members from really day one, really, haven't you?
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
been on the After Dark show, so you were there from conception of the rant to the kind of meet up to then coming on to MediaNet, and now we are here and we're doing all of this weird and lovely. I'm saying weird and lovely stuff. So I want to welcome you, especially because you have been with me and supported me all the way through this, the pandemic and everything. Even Michelle has made me some bread during the pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah, and brought it over, you know, just to make sure that I was okay.
Yeah.
Woo. So so I want to openly say thank you to both of you. Herbie has been a tower of support, but both of you have. So I want to thank you for that during the pandemic. As you know, many people were alone and isolated, and these two people especially have always made sure that I'm okay. So I just really wanted to say that openly and to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Don't cry, Herbie. Don't cry. It's okay.
So welcoming. So welcoming, definitely.
So you guys have have been married for 37 years. Is that right?
35 years,
35 on our piece.
35 years.
but been together for
About 30.
nearly 40.
Nearly
Nearly 40.
Whoa. Oh, we missed that. I don't think we could hear. Have you been together for 37?
That's nearly 40.
Oh, your sound's gone.
years.
Hold on. We're having a little bit of a technical issue in the studio. Let's have a look. Let's see how we're doing. Have a go. Let's see if we can hear you now.
Yeah, we've been married for 35 years this year, and we've been together since we were sort of 15, 16.
Wow. So
Wow.
you have been together a lifetime.
Impressive.
Over 40 years.
Yeah,
Yes.
over 40 years. And that is, you said the right word, impressive. That is impressive. And so Michelle and Herbie are going to be facilitating a workshop
Yes.
at the retreat, how to keep love alive. And I think we could all, whether you're single, married, or even single-ish, I think you can, everybody can take something from this couple.
Yes.
And so I'm really excited about having them deliver this workshop. But I want you guys to kind of tell us about what you are doing now, because as I said, you're in Wales. I know you've recently moved, and I know that you do a lot of well-being work in that area. So just give us, just a brief synopsis of what you've been doing and what you've been getting up to and how you're playing in the world.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. Well, for me, initially, Yvonne, that I was commissioned to do some work. And in that commission, we took some young people to Wales, to Jamie's farm.
Yes.
In Wales. We have 5 farms around the country, and it's a farm where it's family therapy and farming. And we had the young people here for a week's residential. The first time I came, I was like, no, this is not for me. too many animals and too many smells. If they had more legs than me, no legs, I was afraid of everything. And then the second time I came with some young people, I was smitten. I bought my daughter bought me chickens that I had at home, started to grow my own. And the third time I came to Wales was that I decided I need a job here. So 2 years later, I manifested it, and I am now here as the therapy coordinator in Monmouthshire at Jamie's farm. Got a job, and now I support the young people with like one-to-ones, talking to them, just checking in on them whilst they're here. And I've been here for 7 months. So we had sort of like not a long distance
Just
relationship.
a weekend relationship.
A weekend relationship.
It's a weekend.
Boy.
So I just see on the weekend.
Just saw me at the weekends, and I used to go home, but I used to come up. He used to come up to here, and Herbie decided that he was going to get a job local to where I am now, and he started last week. So we're now back together, living in our little flat that the farm has given us. So yeah, I'm living my best life. It's absolutely amazing here. Absolutely amazing. So beautiful. And yeah, it's great. It's great. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
What she said.
Yeah, what she said. Yeah.
you know, we spoke about this some years ago about going out to the country, living sort of the country life. Sometimes you have a vision, dream, you have a goal. We have our own time on it, our own timeline on it, but sometimes it just, the timeline we have is not what we, it works out.
Yeah.
Expected. We expected this probably another 5-6 years, but it's come along earlier, and it's good. I mean, I really enjoy that out here. When you wake up in the morning and you see countryside and trees and fresh air, well, kind of fresh, it's good.
It's fresh air.
Fresh air. Yeah.
Wales fresh air.
Fresh air.
Wales fresh air.
It's really lovely. And then being back to nature. I found it very kind of easy to adapt to the country life. It's like it's something I could have done. You know what I mean? Being living in London and been living in Luton in the city or the towns, you're like on a treadmill. You know what I mean? You're just going around doing your own thing. When you come out to the country, different lifestyle.
Yeah.
Everything's slower. Everything just feels better.
Yeah.
Even just seeing animals walking around and chicken free raining and duck across your path and kind of stuff. Everything just seems nice. I really enjoy it. Get up in the morning, hear the cockerel crow. How much cockerel up there? About three. So out there making up noise.
The tree cockacrow.
Yeah. But it's all good. It's all good.
And we're getting a puppy. So I'm getting a therapy dog.
Therapy puppy. Oh,
You talk about the dog.
Yeah.
I have to talk about Bailey.
You can't talk about
I
Bailey.
have to talk about Bailey. Yeah, and he's
His
coming
name's ready.
on
Yeah, his
Sunday.
name's ready. Yeah. You're picking him up on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
he's a lovely pooch. Not a pooch, is he? He's a lovely dog.
He is. He's lovely.
So you've got a therapy dog to help you in your work. So
Yeah.
this is to help the children to open up, to integrate, to
Just to relax, because sometimes they're just caught up in, as Herbie was saying, the cycle. When they come to the farm, it's unconditional positive regard. So even when they could be upset, could be effing and blinding, we reframe it. So it's a positive. We really pick up on the positives. We walk, we go on lots of walks. it's just the approach, and it's that calm approach. And you know, listening to what your guest was saying earlier, I was saying to Herbie that, oh, he said don't call him dad, because I'm always calling him dad. You know, I was saying, but is that, you know, like the mindfulness, is that also to do, I feel that I'm mindful, but it's also to do with your personality and how I am and how Herbie is. Does that also play a part in mindfulness, being mindful about nature, about creation, about, you know, how I conduct myself to others and how I receive things from others, or if I choose not to? It's those sort of things. I was just saying to Herbie, you know, just now before in the break, you know, is that part of being mindful as well as the mindfulness?
Yes, it is. It's very much a case of just having that calmness and that stillness. And sometimes things naturally happen for you to be mindful. So the fact that you guys are out in the country now, and the fact that, you know, you've got that countryside makes such a difference to being in the towns and the cities. And I know that because I go down to Bicester, which is in Oxfordshire, and it's lovely. I'm looking out, all I can see is trees and hills and fields and stuff like that. And it just makes such a difference than being in the towns. And it helps it does help with the mindfulness. Definitely. So even though you may not have, you know, practiced mindfulness or whatever, you're naturally doing it because of your environment.
Yeah. And I think also what I have found whilst I've been here, that I've taken up running.
Yes, Michelle did the marathon the other day. She has a half marathon, so congratulations and well done to you.
Thank you. And that was hard, but I enjoyed it. And until my knee sort of started to play up a little bit, because I'm in the younger years, you know. And
you are very young. What are you talking about?
Younger years, that's it. Really younger years.
That's right. So you know, come mile 9, I wasn't panting, wasn't sweating, I wasn't out of breath. I was just doing my thing, and I continued to run and finish the race. And that's determination, and that shows me that, you know, whatever we can put our mind to, we can achieve. And it is that positive mindset. And you have the odd hiccup, which was my knee on the way, and that's life. Sometimes we have these odd hiccups, but we persevere and continue. I manifested that I wanted to work here 101%. And here I am. It's just like living a dream. It really is. And I got my best friend with me. Isn't it, baby?
Oh,
you're my bestie.
I just hope it's still like when Bailey comes.
When Bailey comes,
I hope I'm still going to be the bestie. Bailey's giving my best friend now.
Is it?
Okay, so what I want to ask you is, in terms of, I'm laughing, I'm skinning teeth because I know you guys well as well. So, but my question to you is how do you, because it's been such a big change for you, and as a couple who've been together all those years, huge change. You've manifested something. You've made a decision. I want to do this. And it's manifested before the time in which you both thought it would. How do you navigate? Say for instance, if I was to say, not that this is your situation, but say I was to say that one of you was ready to go and the other one wasn't, what would you, if there's a couple that are listening today that are in a similar situation to you, where they've got this amazing opportunity to move somewhere that's completely different to what they're used to, but one of them is ready to go and the other one's not, what would you say to them as a couple? What advice would you give to them? Because we're all looking at you like, damn, that's 37 years, man. That's like,
Yes.
yeah, 35 years together, 40 odd years together,
Mhm.
35 years marriage. We don't hear those figures
Mm-mm.
with people that look like us, like our
Mhm.
age.
Mhm.
They're normally a lot older,
Mhm.
but you guys are young, you're vibrant, and you're in your younger years of life also. So what would you say to a couple that was experiencing something similar to yours, but one's ready and the other one's not?
Well, it's good you asked that question because in a lot of relationships, you will get a similar sort of scenario, whether it be a change of job or just anything in life. And what we always do, we're constantly communicating, we're constantly talking about what we want to do, where we want to go. Not everything that what we say we're going to do or want to do happens, but we give different options. Because we, again, just tying up with a mindfulness, we sort of look at really what's out there. Yeah, because sometimes what we want is not the best for us, or what we would say the universe wants for us in that sort of sense. So we kind of go along with, with how things are,
The flow.
with the flow.
Mm.
So with that, then we learn to adapt. And that might not be easy because you're thinking, well, is this going to work? You know what I mean? This is new ground. This is something different. It's a change. But we know that the change or the adaptation is going to be good. It's working for us. So just for us to get into that place and work with it, because we may not see the future. You know what I mean? We may not see what's going to come ahead. And a lot of times we're going along and we're thinking we don't really know what's around the corner. But what we do know, around the corner is good. Yeah, it's good for us. So let us continue on. Yeah, because sometimes if you see it around the corner, you may not want to go around it. And we're not saying around the corner is always negative. It may not be desirable. It may not be something that we wanted, but it was something that we'll get through. Yeah, we'll get over it. It might be a hill. So you look on the corner and see a big hill, you're thinking, Lord, you know what I mean? But we know that the hill's there and we got the tools and the provisions, everything to get over it. So let's just get over it. It's there and we need to get over it.
And I think adding to that is that the communication is open communication, because Herbie must have thought when I said, I'm going to go for a job on the farm, and he was like, on the farm, Michelle? I said, yeah. He said, which farm?
Which farm? Because we know, say, even the bird outside is frightened of.
I know, but you know what? It's all good. I'm no longer frightened of birds.
I mean, you really need to see just Michelle's, call it testimony of the farm. I come down weekends, and every time I come down, Michelle's doing something different. If she's not milking cow, she's shearing sheep. She's doing. I'm myself like, this is a different woman.
Well,
even
different.
We're not different.
Well,
but different. even going back to the running and the marathon, Michelle came and said to me, hey, I'm gonna do this half marathon. So I'm looking at Michelle thinking, that's like a 13 and a bit miles. Michelle's saying yes. But I know Michelle can't really run. She doesn't run.
No.
Well, she run
I don't run.
Run like that.
I don't run
Michelle
for
don't
bus.
run. Michelle doesn't run.
I'm not running. No.
I would run, but Michelle wouldn't run. So I said, okay. I didn't want to discourage her. He said, okay. So she used to go for walks. We used to walk. So I know she can walk. So if she said to me she's going to do a walking marathon, I'd have said, all right, you're good with that. When you tell me you're going to run a marathon, I'm thinking, okay. So we went for a little run one day. Well, Michelle went for a little run. I was walking and Michelle was running. So you can see the kind of pace that she was going. to the extent that I was actually folding my hand and walking.
Crossing his arms and walking, and I'm running.
Yeah. And I'm looking at Michelle thinking,
I'd say, no, my friend, listen to me. You can't be crossing your arm. Look like you're enjoying it. Run alongside me a little piece so that I can feel that, you know, you're there and you're with me, my friend. But no.
I run with Michelle, yeah.
A few weeks later.
No, the same sort of time there, yeah. And my ankle and my knees, everything was hurting me because I was kind of near running on the spot. Yeah.
Right, you make it sound so bad.
Because you said I looked like I was kind of running, but it wasn't really doing much for me because all I was doing is kind of like a stepping thing, like a step class thing. You know what I mean? And
oh my gosh!
But you know something, the weeks pass and the months pass, and Michelle started to run.
Mm-hmm.
I got Michelle and I feel run. I feel run to keep up with Michelle.
Yeah,
run
that's
good,
right.
Michelle. Run good.
That's right.
And we do, and constantly was out there. We're knocking out 4 miles, 6 miles, no problem. And we go outside, knock out 6 miles, and come back home, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
And I thought myself like, wow. I still look at that though.
Yeah.
Look at that. Huh? Listen. Between me and you know, I don't put nothing past the woman, you know. If she says she's gonna do something right, she's gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And let me give you a little insight to that, yeah. Michelle out of the relationship, Michelle's more the visionary one, yeah. Michelle, not saying that I don't really have a vision, but Michelle have vision, yeah. Just a little something, yeah. Michelle did a master's degree some years back, in a sort of like
My 40s.
in her 40s, yeah. Now, before Michelle even did this degree, yeah, Michelle had a vision board on the wall with a lady, yeah, with a dress, hat on, a gown, everything else. And Michelle's saying, basically, that's her. You know what I mean? And I thought, okay. Remember, but Michelle's dyslexic, and Michelle, let's go with not much education.
I had an O level in cookery.
All right. She had an O level in cookery. Yeah.
That's where the bread comes from, you see.
Where the bread comes from. Yeah, and Michelle can cook very, very well. But academically, in terms of English and maths and stuff like that, Michelle, you know, and partly that was due to her dyslexia. Yeah, why she wasn't able to study very well. But Michelle persevered. Yeah.
Got kicked out of how many units? 3?
What?
3 universities.
No, 2. Michelle never got kicked out. 2. Got kicked out of 2. Well, not really kicked out.
Well, they
but failed
discontinued,
because
I wasn't academic enough.
Right. Okay. And again, that was really down to her dyslexia because she wasn't I'll say diagnosed really, or didn't pick up the dyslexia till it's part of one of her studying one of the universities. One of the lecturers sort of took her aside and said like, something's not right here. You know what I mean, in terms of how you're writing and everything else. And when they got her checked, they said, boy, they don't know how she even got through any education, through anything, because her dyslexia was bad. I mean, Michelle see words back to front, this and that. Yeah, no, it's serious because
it looked the right way to me.
I even had I wouldn't say arguments with Michelle, but Michelle, I had to write down things or say things, and I can't understand how Michelle can't see it. I'm saying, Michelle, it's XYZ, and Michelle's saying that she don't understand. I said, don't understand, Michelle. Say XYZ. And even sometimes Michelle would be crying because she just couldn't get it right. And I thought myself, and I thought, hold on a second, because with dyslexia, it doesn't really appear. It's not like you
live with it.
Yeah,
and it's all
like,
for you
it's evident,
until it's identified.
Yeah, that you have it. You know what I mean?
Because how you think and see things is how you see it, and you think it's right, and you can't identify it until it's identified to you.
That's right. Yeah,
that's right.
So once they helped her and they got her a laptop and changed the screen color and all kind of stuff and everything else.
But then they still did tell me to leave.
All right, Michelle.
Rude.
Yes, because you have to catch up.
It is. Look at, if you watch
But
the
yeah.
dynamic between these two, if you guys, those of you who are watching at home, if you look at the dynamics between these two, it's very, very clear. You'll see lots of things between them. You'll see the energy just shifting. It's almost like a game of tennis, but like a not like a Serena Williams final. It's like I'm just chilled and we're
like a practice.
Yeah, we're
kind of
practicing
thing.
and we're
Yeah.
just biding the time. The way in which you two interact is amazing. And so we're going to see more of this at the retreat and how you really pull together. Because as you say, Herbie, you was walking while Michelle was running. And where I see the significance here for you as a couple is, as a man, you know, you openly said that Michelle is more of the visionary, whereas there are lots of couples where the man may feel that he should be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. It's about you two working together and enhancing your skills together. You've talked about Michelle doing a university work and you being there and they've changed the laptop. You work with that process all the way through, which requires patience. It requires love to the highest degree, you know, and unconditional and acceptance of each other. And this is what is very clear. I'm just looking at you and I'm laughing. It's very clear to me watching the dynamics between you, and not every couple has that.
Yeah, I think also is that, you know, it's give and take. It is give and take, and it is compromise. You know, if I can sort of suggest something to Herbie and he thinks about it and we have a discussion about it, and sometimes, I mean, we talk like all the time. You know, it's constant. First thing in the morning, during the day, and it's not a task. It's just catching up. How are you, babes? Are you all right? Blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm just going for lunch. See you later. And it could just be that, you know. And then of an evening, even if we have a disagreement, because we don't argue, because that's long. I'm not into that. Just not doing it.
Michelle,
I
Michelle,
like that.
Michelle, don't argue with me.
I'm not.
I might as well just forget it. Arguing myself, because Michelle and
I'll
argue.
give you
Because I'm not taking that on, because it's not adding any value to my life. So why am I going there? I will get my point across, but I'm not arguing. So even if we have an upset, or Herbie's upset, or whatever it may be, we always kiss and say goodnight, or always kiss, or, you know, there's little things that I do that I will share at our retreat.
At the retreat, yes.
You know, and Herbie, you can't resist it. So yeah. But it's those little things, you know, that, and it's done from love. It's coming from a good place, you know. And even I could be vexed a little more, but at the end of the day, it's only for a moment. You know, I don't prolong things, because life is what it is. I'm not going to say life is too short, because life is what it is. And I want the best for myself. I want the best for Herbie, and I want the best for others. So what you see with us is what you get. 100%. Hold hands. I could be vexed a little more. My mouth could be pushed up, and we're going out. We hold hands all the time. You know, it's that sort of thing. And it's deep. And sometimes I think I'm a bit, I become a bit fearful because of the deepness of the love that I feel for Herbie. I talk to strangers about Herbie at the bus stop, in the shop, you know, because he is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Couldn't ask for anyone better than this man right here. Anyway.
Oh, that's so lovely. So lovely. Nelson Katosha says, love you both, inspiring, power couple.
Oh,
And
thank
you are
you.
very inspiring.
Mhm.
And we want to learn, we want to grow
Mm.
and develop and learn from, because with older, the more mature people of our ilk and are maybe on a different older generation, don't generally talk about how they manage their relationship. So we just see it from the outside looking in, and we can just gather our own perception. But the beauty of having you guys, and the beauty of having you guys on the show consistently week after week, shows, for me personally, it's like this is something to aspire
It's
to.
true, definitely.
And how you interact, how I see you interact with Herbie, Michelle, especially as we hear a lot about the alpha female, we hear a lot about new age women and all of these kinds of things, but how I see you behave and how graceful you are as a woman and how Herbie responds. And I just like that part where she said, even if you're vexed, so there's certain things that you can do that, Herbie just loves, and he's just there.
Exactly.
He's not turning away from it. And this is something that I think personally, even for myself, as somebody that does operate in male energy quite a bit because of what I do, but it's good for us to learn from you, because ultimately everybody wants to be in a relationship, everybody wants to be loved, feel appreciated, but not everybody can articulate that in their relationship.
Yeah.
And end up battering, or as my friend Dave Chappelle says, punching down on the other partner. And that happens a lot, and then we end up with no relationship at all. So there's loads of comments coming. Well done, Michelle and Herbie. Looking forward to seeing you guys at the R retreat. That's KB there. Sheena Campbell saying yes, it don't matter if I'm vexed, we still hold hands. Definitely. Yeah, Grace Campbell saying beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's about having that level of consciousness that you're both on the same level, you're both confident enough, self-confident enough that it doesn't matter that from the point of view of how you interact. It doesn't matter whether someone's upset or they're not or whatever. You still know how to relate to each other, which is important.
Yeah.
And it's not a case of, just because you've been together that length of time. People have been together that length of time, but they're not like you guys.
No, they can't stand each other.
They can't. They'll be in two separate parts of the house and all this kind of malarkey. But at the end of the day, you're demonstrating that it is possible to be confident enough in yourself and loving from such a deep place that you can accept the other person for who they are. And when you can learn to do that, that's the relationship you guys have.
Yeah,
definitely. That's right. Yeah, it's, we were saying we do a lot of things together. I find that helps our relationship. Although Michelle's my wife, she's also, I've allowed Michelle in the relationship. I do allow.
I knew you was going to do that. I was just waiting for it to allow.
Well, I give. Yeah, I give something to her. I give Michelle a space, to as a woman. You know what I mean? Because she's a woman. She's a female. So, I'm not saying she's not independent, because obviously, we're together. But I let her do a woman thing. Because some men, their relationship and the woman, I don't know. The woman's like they're. What's the word can I find? They're not like a partner. You know what I mean? It's like the woman's there as a
commodity.
I don't know. Just
an attachment, a commodity.
Just provide food and you know what I mean. As a you know what I mean. They don't allow them to be themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. And and if a woman wants to like for example, if Michelle wanted to study, so I'm happy for Michelle to study. Michelle wants to, whatever Michelle wants to do, if it's not, and if it's got to affect the relationship, as far as in my opinion, then you do it. And I mean, I've had Michelle go abroad, to West Indies to go and teach and train. It's not an issue. I know for some it will be an issue. Like, because I had comments made to me. Hold a minute, I make your wife go clear West Indies, go train. I said, like,
Right.
What's the problem?
Exactly.
That's Michelle. That's what she does. See, the thing as well, because we got married quite young. Yeah,
I was 12.
Michelle was 12. Yeah. We've grown quite a strong friendship.
Yeah.
In our relationship. Yeah. And in all that as well, we've become kind of secure in who we are.
Yeah.
As a couple.
Yeah.
So
see that.
Michelle will be out, and I've had it over the years, where there's maybe a gentleman want to chat to Michelle and talk to Michelle and everything else, and people come to me and say, oh, there's a man chatting to your wife, and I'm saying, like,
And
it's okay, Michelle can handle herself. Yeah,
exactly.
If Michelle cannot handle herself, she'll come and talk to me.
Yes.
Herbie, look, this man,
I did one.
did once, yeah. And what I have to do, I leave a little bit, but if I see that things are getting a bit too much, yeah, then I will go and talk to the man.
I wanted to headbutt this man.
Yeah,
That's
hold on a
what you
second.
wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, lad.
My intention is not to go and fight the man. I'm not going to fight. Fight the man over my wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I need to show the man that, listen, you're disrespecting my wife, and disrespecting me. And if you don't eat up yourself, then I'm going to disrespect you. So that's how it kind of go. But in terms of that, Michelle is can handle herself. I can handle myself. But Michelle also knows that she got security. Yeah, in terms of, like, if things get out of her depth, she can talk to me, and I will deal with it. Because nobody's, well, those who know me,
All right.
you can be big like
host.
like host.
All right.
Like a father. Yeah? So when it comes to stuff like that, I just switch into a different person. But luckily, everything kind of normally, when I get a little talk, they kind of know to hold their place. But just to show in relationships, sometimes that could be an issue. You know what I mean? With men and this and that. And some people try it, and they try it. You know what I mean? So but you get off the holy ground and knows that you know something. I'm a relationship, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna it's not gonna faze me in that sort of sense.
I hear you. Thanks for that, Herbie. I think Sheena Campbell's put a comment on the thread, and she said it's all about trust. And I think that's absolutely correct. There's a trust that you two have between, there's an almost like a secure kind of lockdown thing where everything just secure, lock. I'm just secure. That's it. So you can both be out and you can both be talking to people, and you both know at the end of the day, you two have got each other. Yeah. And so if someone is talking and they get a little bit leery, I suppose on both ends, if it was a woman who was, overly friendly with Herbie and he felt a bit odd because, it's a female and he doesn't want to be overly abrupt or anything or disrespectful. He might say, to Michelle, what have you not? And Michelle, with her graceful self, will just go up and say, hello, darling, or whatever she does. But it's that knowing that you have that trust and that respect for each other that I see couples out there that don't have the same couple and don't have that same kind of energy towards each other. And I think we need to see more of this. We need to hear more of this and learn more of this from couples like you. Hence, one of the reasons why you are one of our speakers, one of our workshop practitioners at the retreat, because you have a long-standing wealth of knowledge and experience for like 40 years experience of having a relationship that's thriving.
Yeah.
Just not surviving, it's actually thriving.
Yes.
And so there's much that we can all learn. Dorota says, so amazing to watch this beautiful balance, divine feminine and masculine energy in both of you, where you let each other shine in their full glory. I love that. Really love that, what that was written. And it's very, very true that, you know, you can just see, you know, and I like the way in which you were talking about the mindfulness and being a mindful people of, you know, of your environment, of each other, of families, friends, loved ones. You know, you just amplify that. And I think, as Astrid was saying about the mindfulness, I think, you know, it slows you down and it kind of makes you think, and there's no judgment.
No.
And I think that you are these people anyway. It's part of your natural makeup. And certainly I can see such a huge shift in you guys since you have moved up to Wales as well.
Yeah.
So
I think the air and being in the countryside has just sort of added to what we've got already.
Yeah.
It makes him want to sleep.
Michelle,
But it's all relaxation, isn't it?
Michelle telling me it's the ear up here. I come inside this some evening time. That's my father asleep.
Straight away.
And Michelle telling me it's the ear.
It is the air.
It is. It is
the air.
It is the air.
It's quite nice and interesting to have the young people see us together as well. So sometimes we will go and if I'm working in the evening, Herbie will come over for dinner with the young people. So we all sit round the table together, you know, and you can see them sort of thinking, oh, this is a black couple together, laughing and joking and you know, just being a part of what's happening. And, you know, we've had children ask us, oh, so is Herbie the father of all your children? You know, things like that, because that's not their journey. That's not their journey. That's not what they see. And what they see is like, is this real? And it is real because I hold Herbie's hand, you know, he might give me a kiss on the cheek or whatever, you know, and the children are like, what, you lot are so cute. You lot are so cute. You know, it's that sort of thing. We have to be ourselves. We've got to be ourselves. We can't be anybody else or anything else but ourselves. And we will definitely be ourselves at our retreat. People, buy your tickets, come along and share and be a part of what's going to be an absolutely amazing event. Just come along, see what nuggets you can pick up along the way, because we're going to be there and I'll be dropping some nuggets and Herbie will be dropping some nuggets too. You dropping nuggets? Lovely.
There was a question for you from Kieran. If we go back up a little bit.
Therapy.
Yes, I wanted to just quick, because you brought the therapy back up. He said, I find the connection with the outdoors and with nature is such a vital element of positive well-being. I work in Swansea Comprehensive Schools and really feel the lack of engagement with the outdoors and staying indoors with technology and being constantly plugged into these devices is one of the big factors in poor mental well-being. Are you seeing positive changes in the young people with this, I can't say, therapeutic approach?
101% yes. We on the farm, there is no sugar, no TV, no mobile phones, no sweets, things like that. It is working the farm, because it's an actual working farm, and the walks that we do, and also challenging young people, walking up mountains, working together, and we see changes. Sometimes they push and push to get what they've always got, but outside of that, the unconditional positive regard really does turn them around, because we go back in 6 weeks to check and to see how they are, and we go back in 6 months to check to see how they are. And for the majority, there's been a shift in their behaviour. So, you know, having no mobile phones and being away from social media for a period of time, even just for the week, they realize, well, actually, I don't need it. Really, I need to walk. I need to eat healthy. We have bowls of fruit on the table that they can help themselves to every time. They have breakfast, porridge and a cooked breakfast. They have a lunch. They have a snack. They have a dinner, and they prepare and cook with our chef or with members of staff. And they walk every single day. They get up at 7, feed the animals. So it's about working with the animals first before you feed yourself. They feed each other and cook for each other and serve each other. It is an absolutely wonderful ethos. And please, Kieran, contact us. We have alternative provisions coming. We have children that are in care coming. We have, and with a couple of members of staff. You know, it's amazing. Yvonne knows, because Yvonne has come to the farm a couple of times.
Yeah, I've been there a few times now. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yes, with children and by myself.
Yeah.
With my daughter, just for the weekend, we'd gone up
Okay.
to spend some time out in the country, and
Oh wow.
you know, get
does
along with
work.
the animals, and there were little sheep there making up a whole heap of noise.
Oh, yeah,
the
the
last time that I was there, it was lovely. But
It's
it is,
Jamie's farm in Monmouth.
yeah, it's beautiful, absolutely
Okay.
beautiful, and the results that we saw. I mean, for me, my journey with young people has kind of slowed down. I'm more working with older and more mature people, but when I was working with young people on that level, the results that we got on the farm were amazing.
Yeah.
So I want to connect you with Kieran, Michelle.
100%.
Yeah, because I think that there's some synergy there, and I think you can kind of work something out. And as Kieran is with schools in Swansea, I think it would be a good connection for you.
For sure.
So Nathisa is saying yes, authentic. She says yes, I love it. Sorry, I'm late to the live, but what's the name of the farm? Is it Jamie's farm? Yes, it is.
Jamie's farm.
In Monmouth.
Monmouth.
But
It's the Monmouth branch.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Fantastic. So, guys, you know, we've been talking about all different things tonight. We've been talking about mindfulness, meditation, but also how, you know, relationship. I mean, even though it's just conversation, we can pick up a lot from what you've said in how you navigate your relationship, and even that big move. I think a lot of people in relationships can learn from you saying, right, having this thought, having this vision, I'm going to work at this farm. Because I actually remember that conversation. I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you're going to make that happen. And I've witnessed this manifestation.
Yeah.
And everything that Michelle has put out there has actually happened.
Yeah.
And so, you know, even if you want to know how to manifest, right, you need to come to the retreat.
Exactly.
You need to come to the retreat. And as I'm saying this, I'm talking about this, it reminds me of a client, the lady that called me. She's a property developer, and she told me, "Oh, I've been following." She said, "I've been following you for about 4 or 5 years now." I said, "Really?" She said, "Oh yeah." She goes, "I'll always come on your page." She goes, "Because I want to see what you've manifested, because you're always manifesting stuff." I said, "Oh, that's nice." She goes, "Yeah, and you have some nice looking men on your page." So I said, "Okay then, all right then." So where's all the good looking men gone? I don't really know. There are. I know a lot. I said to her, I do know a lot of nice looking men, some nice, genuine men. Yes, so there's a bit of big art. I do know them. So yes. So Nathisa's saying, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Awesome. I've had very positive feedback from the young people I work with about the farm. Thank you. Look at that.
Yeah.
You see how small
The world is.
Yeah, because who would have known?
Exactly.
Who would have known?
Exactly.
So I'm hoping, Nathisa, that you'll come to our retreat, meet Michelle and Herbie in person, come on their workshop, learn some things for yourself, and also come and meet Astrid and learn about mindfulness and meditation. You know, you're going to learn about how to actually, last week's show was so informative, had so much feedback in regards to staying safe online,
social
not
media.
just for the adults, but how the adults make their children safe. So that was a really, really good show. So if you want to learn about these things, learn about how to build a relationship, a healthy relationship, how to identify the red flags, you know, all of these things are going to be part of the retreat. So
And bring
I
a
am
friend.
going to
Bring a
ask you to
friend.
bring a friend. That's it.
Yes.
That's it. So Nathisa says it's phonetic. Natisha.
Natisha.
All right.
Natisha.
I can say it with an accent. Natisha.
Natisha.
Yes, I can see it. Thank you for that. Yes, I'm hoping to attend the retreat. Absolutely. Yes, guys. So make sure the link is on the bottom of the page. It's running across. Make sure that you take the link. You've only got probably how many days are left now for the retreat? About 13,
Yeah,
maybe.
13,
Just,
14.
no, yeah, just over a week.
Oh, it's just no. It could be about 10.
11 days.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Because it's on Saturday,
It's
isn't it? So,
Saturday.
yes.
Saturday.
The 30th.
What we had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days. There you
11
go.
days.
11 days.
And I use my
So
fingers
less
to
than 2
count.
weeks.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks. I use my fingers to count, and
In our business, you still get the
I've
answer.
got the answer. Yeah. So we are looking forward to the retreat. Michelle and Herbie are going to be coming from Wales. They're going to be joining us in London. They're going to be flying over and landing on the helipad, you know, on Saturday morning, as they do, you know, coming all the way from Wales. Yeah, they're coming. Astrid is going to be there. I am going to be there. We are all going to be there. So I'm going to hand over to you. I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes just to say just a little bit about anything. If you want to give a tip, if you want to give a tool, or you just want to give a little bit of encouragement, you've got like a minute and a half each. What would you like to say to those listening, Michelle and Herbie?
Communication is key, and building trust, being open, and being your authentic you.
all of those. And just being sort of just being relaxed about things, you know. The in life's I always keep saying life's got twists and turns, you know. You don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow in life. So really just make it work for you now. You know, make it work for you now. So live today, you know. Live
Today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And again, I just want to thank you for your support for this on this show. You know, you've been around since the beginning, and I do really love you guys, and really appreciate the love and the support, because what you guys don't see is what goes on behind the scenes. And not so much now because Michelle and Herbie are in Wales, but certainly in the beginning and recent months, they have been very pivotal, and they have seen a lot of things in the background and have always been a support. So, you know, I think it would be remiss of me not to even mention that. And I do want to thank you both from the depths of my heart for your love and your support, you know, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys do your thing. Now, I have to openly admit, I've seen Michelle facilitate. You guys are going to have an amazing time. Michelle is fun, and so is Herbie. They are a fun couple. So be ready for laughter. Be ready for, you know, the relaxation. Be ready for happiness and some jokes, because I think you are going to get more surprises than you can bargain for with these two here. So
And tell
I
a
look
friend.
forward. And tell a friend.
Bring a
And
friend.
bring a friend.
Yes, bring a friend. Yes. And also Astrid, now, what would you like to tell the people then?
I like to tell the people then that this is me. And at the end of the day, by putting everything you learn at the R retreat, including the mindfulness and including just going with the flow, it will make such a difference to your life.
Yeah.
And we say, live for today. Don't worry about tomorrow. What's gone, you can't get back and you can't change. What's coming, you don't know if you're going to see tomorrow. So make today the present.
Yes.
Make it the gift and make it work, because tomorrow's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's not.
Definitely.
It's not, and we see that. We can see that with what's going on in life. I want to thank my guests for being in the studio today. I want to really, and actually, I'm going to openly say thank you to Astrid for. She's like, for the mindfulness mornings, the meditation, the meditation. Well, it felt like mediation between myself and my brain. It did. Right? So I want to thank you for doing that, because the commitment that you showed, you were there every day,
Yeah.
without fail,
Yeah.
on time.
Yeah.
And every single day you were there giving. So I want to just appreciate you for doing that, because you know what? There's many people out there doing stuff and they never know how much impact that they have on someone's life. So I just want you to know that you've had an impact in my life, and I thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
We have to talk the truth, and we've got to start bigging up our own people. And when you're doing a good thing, you must tell somebody. Don't wait till they pass. And then at the
Why
9
is it we always wait till people pass before we say anything?
At the 9 night, oh yes, I remember them, and they did this, and then no, I'm telling you now, while you're breathing and you're smiling and you're here, and we're in the present moment.
Yes.
And I would just also like to say that I'm inviting each and every one of you to join us at our retreat. We've been doing this for this show has been running since the lockdown. It's been running for, it's coming up for nearly 2 years now. It's really, give or take some months. And it hasn't always been easy, but you guys have always been here. And when I say you guys, I mean you guys, the audience, those of you who are on Facebook, those of you who are on YouTube, those of you who are on MediaNet Live TV, you are always here, week in, week out. And I just want to show my gratitude to all of you. I just see a comment come up. Annie Mac said, I started watching AD after April 2020 and may have been and have featured sex toys. That's a nice way of the meditation and the mindfulness. And Grace Campbell saying, here. Yeah. Okay. So
you see, and even with the mindfulness, you then become more comfortable with the sex toys too, isn't it?
Yeah, comfortable using it to yourself and getting to know your own body. Listen, I've got a question for you. We've got the last 3 minutes, and Annie Mac is because of her question prompted me to remember her statement. And the question is, and this is for a 3-day pass. This is the £97 ticket. Who was my first studio guest? And what was the title of that show? Now, I'm going to leave that again. I'm going to say it again. Who was my first audio or studio guest? And what was the title of that show? That is this week's question. If you don't know the answer, go and do the research. And whoever DMs me first, if you can't come on here tonight, if you haven't got the answer tonight, you have the opportunity to direct message me. And you could be the winner. Right? Do you want me to read the question one more time? And it's not because I wanted to put my glasses on. The question is, who was my first studio guest and what was the title of that show? Right. And Annie Mac is saying, so am I close? you're close enough. You're close enough, but it just prompted me. It just prompted me. So it's not close, but it's not far. So this is the £97 ticket. If you know that answer, you could have a free pass on the 30th of October, right? So on that note, we have come to the end of the show. Next week we have 2 psychotherapists coming in. One is a little bit different. One deals with chakras, and she's amazing. Caroline Heward is coming in next week. She's absolutely incredible. And I say that because I had a telephone conversation with her, and it was just a conversation, and I mentioned something, and when I mentioned the thing that I mentioned, she just went, and you're this and this and this, and you feel like this because of that, and you feel like that because of that, and you feel like this because of that, right? And I was just like, what? So you're going to hear more next week. She's amazing, really, really good. And we also have Angie, Miss Angela Angela Sterling Knoll coming in, and she is a psychotherapist for couples. So you're going to get some, listen, we've worked so hard on this retreat, so hard to get it right, so that you get everything that you need in this one space. So do book your ticket, do support. And do remember, those of you, I will be live tomorrow morning at 9. Yes, I'm running a live tomorrow. It'll be the last one for the week. And then I'll be back again next week. So 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, and 8 o'clock in the evening tomorrow. Yes. Yeah, I'm doing like a marathon thing. Yeah, so join me tomorrow, but for now, take care of yourselves, love on yourselves, be good to yourselves, and we will see you next week at the retreat. I'm sure we will, but if not, we will see you for next week's show. Yay. Thank you for coming, Astrid.
You're welcome.
Michelle and Herbie, thank you for being here, and we will all see you next week. But for now, ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
You ready? You got me running, got me running.